Jane Rao has lived in far north Scottsdale for 35 years. Some now describe her area as Tony and trendy, but Jane remembers when she and her late husband Leonard first built their modest Hogan-style home there in 1967, far from city life and city lights. Coexisting with desert plants and creatures taught her the importance of preservation. Tenacious and tough, yet tender-hearted, Jane is one of the best friends the Sonoran Desert has ever had. Over her decades of both fighting against and working with City Hall, she gained the nickname of the Burr under Scottsdale's saddle, a tag she wears proudly. She was born Hattie Jane Reinhardt in Cleveland, Ohio in 1922. She married Leonard Link Rao during one of his furloughs as a B-17 pilot during World War II. They adopted and raised 4 children, Linda, David, Kurt, and Mary. Once the children were in school, Jane attended Kent State University, served as vice president of the Burton Troy, Ohio School Board, and organized month-long trips for the family in their converted bus. After 2 decades as a general contractor in Ohio and Pennsylvania, Link moved the family to the Scottsdale area in 1962. Link worked with several Valley contractors, and Jane made children's clothes with her own silkscreen designs for the Young Set Shop at Fifth Avenue. They moved back to Ohio briefly, then resettled in Scottsdale in 1967. Jane and Link found their dream property, 20 acres of open desert in the unincorporated area of Maricopa County, north of Scottsdale. Link designed and built a 40-foot hogan with a crib ceiling for the family. Jane and the children quickly adapted to the Western lifestyle. Word spread throughout Scottsdale about the Rao's rustic and remote hogan. The family built and moved into a second hogan on their property when Jane accidentally found herself in the catering business. 19 brides and numerous business, medical, and community groups asked to hold functions in what the Raos named the Hogan of the High Chaparral. As Scottsdale and Phoenix continued to annex land into their municipal boundaries, Jane grew concerned that her beloved desert would soon be a sea of red tile roofs and awash with asphalt. She and the handful of other area residents formed CRASH, or County Residents Against Scottsdale Harassment, to fight annexation and protect their rural zoning. The group changed their name to the more politically neutral Desert Foothills Homeowners Association, but did not dilute their ardent opposition to becoming part of Scottsdale. In fact, with Jane at the helm, the group seriously considered incorporating as a separate entity to preserve the desert surrounding their humble homes. Friends and foes alike knew Jane to be tough, but well-versed on the issues, particularly when she had walked or ridden her bike throughout the miles of area she aimed to protect from rampant development. Ultimately, she helped get the state's annexation laws rewritten. In October 1983, Jane and Link's property was officially annexed into Scottsdale. Now, she may have lost the battle, but her war to protect and preserve Scottsdale's desert and its native flora and fauna was far from over. In 1988, she ran for Scottsdale City Council on a platform of desert preservation, thoughtful water use, and the importance of city leaders listening to all of their constituents. Although defeated at the polls, she continued to attend city council meetings, constantly raising the city's consciousness of the need to protect the desert, mountains, plants, and animals native to Scottsdale. She frequently softened her scolding from the dais with homemade muffins for the mayor and council members. By the end of the 1980s, Jane grew more alarmed as development encroached the foothills of the McDowell Mountains. She and Karen Bettiger founded the nonprofit McDowell Sonoran Land Trust, or MSLT, in 1990 to serve as the key preservation advocacy group for the area. Jane and the first members of the trust ratcheted up their urgent preservation appeals to city council, state legislatures, and numerous other groups. They were successful. By 1995, the city had appointed a McDowell Sonoran Preserve Commission. The mayor and the council dedicated the first acreage in the McDowell Sonoran Preserve, and Scottsdale voters overwhelmingly approved to raise Scottsdale sales taxes to fund land purchases for the preserve. Jane served 6 years on the Preserve Commission, helping to bring 3 more funding issues successfully to the voters and helping to plan trails and access to the preserve. She also trained as one of the MSLT's first stewards, sharing her expertise and passion for the desert to hikers and to school children. Most know Jane as one of the original champions of Scottsdale's desert. However, she's not single-minded. For decades, she served northern Scottsdale and beyond through the Desert Foothills Presbyterian Church. She's been a volunteer in the Food Plus program at the Westside Food Bank for over 16 years. Every week, she visits church members who are homebound, in the hospital, or in nursing homes, bringing them flowers that she has arranged. She served on several Scottsdale task forces, the Dynamite Corridor Study, the Great Sonoran Report, and the Desert Foothills Area Character Study. She's also helped represent Scottsdale at the 1998 and 1999 All-America City Competitions. Although she's seen many of the world's most environmentally beautiful sights, like the Galapagos Islands, her favorite sight is the view outside her kitchen window. Every day, she glories in watching birds and animals in their natural habitat, with the majestic McDowells as a backdrop, knowing her grandchildren, and their children too, will be able to enjoy that same view.